actually insane.
What would 5D look like?
It wouldn't really look like much other than what it would feel like.
I think it's hard for us to visualize because, like we've talked about, our ability to perceive is kind of limited by the dimensions that we exist in or that we understand ourselves to exist in.
Our visualization capacity is actually kind of bullshit. Our ability to understand what things are is much more capable. We can compute that which we cannot actually observe with our brains. Well, otherwise, I would not be able to do 8-dimensional math. I'm a being that is 3D in nature. It's probably a container for like some higher dimensional thing or whatever the fuck you want to like make logic out of this, because it's the only thing that kind of makes sense. So now imagine this for a second, but then the problem is, wait a minute, you know, you're capable of like doing 8D things using 2D representation of the 8D thing using like metaphor things that are variables. That's called math. And it's just like visualizing what energy is, you know? And it's like you put that on a piece of paper and it makes you sound insane. Like the more you go into it, the insaner you sound, but if somebody else understood the same thing that you did, you will be the most sane person in the room.
Well, I think maybe we can try
Math
to
doesn't make people insane, it just makes people better.
We can try to bring it back to more concrete concepts, though. Like if we can understand that we can see the shadow of the fourth dimension in the third dimension. I mean, if we can see the shadow, then perhaps we can project light into extra dimensional space, as it were. And maybe there are things we can do with that.
So I think this is very interesting, right? Like in string theory, the fifth dimension is supposed to influence things like gravity and particles at the very fundamental level. So yeah, I think this would be like super interesting.
Yeah. The main problem is like, one of the main problems out of this is what we're like discussing here is to try and take the thing that's in somebody's brain and like simplify it. So at first, you kind of put out there the initial piece of information, so you kind of get a foothold, but it sounds insane and it doesn't make any sense yet. And then you go to the explanation part where like the other person has to tell you what is in their brain. But first they have to open the door. It's like, hey, I want to know what's inside of the room. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me like show you this thing. This is door. Turn the knob, I'm just gonna like open up a little bit, and you have to like open the rest of the door, and then you see like what's inside of it, and you're like, what is this? Now you can talk. Now we can explain. Now that you've accepted that there's stuff inside of the room, we can talk about what this room is and what it contains.
Now we can ponder the orb.
Yes. It's the doorway to greater things. And if you like, the funniest thing is, it's also a good cogsec filter as well, cognitive security filter, where you can like confront people with this thing, and if they go insane, they're not worthy of knowing what's behind the door. See, it filters a very specific type of person that can deal with extra-dimensional insanity, but it's not insanity, it's actual sanity. It's just if you try to bring it down in its raw form, it looks like insanity, because it's not a type of thing that equates to the sanity of another being. And so basically you sound like the person that's crazy, but once the person understands what you're talking about, because you can actually help them through the process of understanding this weird stuff, then all of a sudden everything makes sense. Because to you, for instance, let's say if you have a mind that doesn't understand what mathematics are, then everything looks like hieroglyphs. But if you were to actually understand what the math meant and what it was all for, then you don't see hieroglyphs, you see functions, you see a tool by which you can like move energy around in like physical or mental space rather, which is also physical in nature from a perspective of whatever energy is, right? God, I miss doing this.
All the data of the universe in a device that fits in your hand.
Precisely, right? We have like these questions, and it's like, wait, I can't just like ask.
Adrian, I just was thinking about this thought experiment, right? Like, I mean, it seems like, I think whoever is on the panel right now, we seem to understand a lot of things, and we agree on a lot of things, especially on the speech, right? What it's like to be on the other side. Why are people not happy yet? Like, why aren't people supporting? I mean, it seems like a lot of policies being implemented today were pretty much commonsensical policies, right? So I'm just trying to understand, like, yeah.
No matter what you say, there's going to be someone that is going to disagree with you.
Yes.
Right? There's people like that out there. You could say the most common sense thing out there, and someone out there is going to fucking disagree with you. You can say water is good for you, and some dickhead says, well, I've survived on Coca-Cola for 15 years, and I'm perfectly fine.
It's an edge case problem where somebody says, well, there aren't exceptions. I'm like, we don't care about the exceptions. We're trying to generalize here. There are exceptions, but what the hell do we have to, like, say? You know?
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't want to do the opposite way sometimes, where you're generalizing so much, you're not allowing room for exceptions.
Yeah, we can, like, consider the exceptions with a thing that's called an if statement. Like, what if? And then we can go down the route. First we do generalization. You know, this is how it normally works. Now, what if? Like, say, let's imagine we have, like, computer sits there and it's fine, it's doing its thing, it's doing, you know, numbers, it's doing computation, you know, and then, like, what if cosmic ray, and then it does, like, a bit flip and your system crashes? You know, like, what's a cosmic ray? What's a bit flip? You know, cosmic ray interferes with, like, the binary part of it, where it's like it flips a 0 to a 1 or a 1 to a 0. That's what you call a bit flip, and that's the cosmic ray thing, because it does that actually quite frequently. Which is also, by the way, one of the reasons why, like, Intel chips used to suck, because they did this thing where they, like, had ceramic shielding, which is actually supposed to prevent this shit from happening. You had, like, ceramic shielding on top of the Intel chip, but what they did in order to make the ceramic, they basically used water from a river that was downstream from a fucking nuclear power plant.
Wow.
And so they were irradiating their chips, constantly causing bit flips.
There was a speed run of a Mario game.
Yeah, the bit flip happened. It was so fucking cool, and they, like, jumped a level.
It's so funny. Yeah,
It's such a rare fucking thing, and it was recorded, which is so fucking cool. He didn't know what to do. It even interfered once with an election. There was an election in Europe somewhere where a bit flip caused the outcome to change. So a cosmic interference literally occurred in a fucking European election, and we can prove it.
hilarious.
That's amazing. Beautiful.
Well, just the fun one about that is that the reason.
That's the whole reason behind why ECC memory was created.
Right, yeah. Oh, and this is also the reason why you have, like, multiple computers on, like, a rocket that goes into space, because you need a backup computer in case the other one gets fucked because of the radiation. So that's why we have that.
That was created by NASA when they were trying to send rockets into space.
Yes. But pretty cool, huh? So now we know what, like, bit flips are. Bit flips are these things that happen because, like, cosmic rays, and now we can say that there has been cosmic interference in a European election once.
Yes.
And we can scientifically prove it because it was a little particle thing that just does a big ray line. So if you have, like, a thing that's called a cloud chamber is basically like this. So imagine, okay, so what you do is you are taking, so you take, like, an LED. Okay, so you have, like, a black. Okay, let me start from the beginning. Take an aquarium. You put a black surface at the bottom. Right? You put the aquarium on top of this black surface, make sure it's airtight. Then you wrap an LED strip around the bottom of that such that basically the black part is, like, lit, but from the side like this. Then what you do is you put, like, a tray on top of the aquarium itself where you have something that effectively is extremely cold. You can use, like, a Peltier plate or whatever you want to do, and you can, like, drip alcohol on this, and then what happens is that the vapors themselves are extremely cool and then float to the bottom, and then the bottom becomes extremely, like, an extremely dense layer of alcohol vapor. So dense, as a matter of fact, that now if there's radiation, which there always is, by the way, you will actually see the particles interact with the super, super dense alcohol vapor and leave behind a little trail. So you can actually see the aftermath of radiation and thereby technically observe the radiation with your naked eyes. That's called a cloud chamber. And so what you can do is you can actually, like, look at the different trails that the particles leave behind, and you're able to tell which of these particles, like, are which. You can tell, like, you know, alpha, beta, whatever, and there's, like, a cosmic ray, this big long fucking line that just happens. You can, like, tell what kind of gases are around, you know, like, you know, all this kind of cool shit. That's like what you can tell with the cloud chamber. The cloud chamber is like, okay, I know what this was that interfered with the election. It was like a big cosmic ray that was like the big line on, like, the cloud chamber thing. So yeah, pretty cool, isn't it?
Really cool, actually. The election result was actually a fun one because the
whatever computer system they were using was a binary system, and so what it flipped was like one of the 10,000, one of the switches that referred to the 10,000th integer, or whatever it is. So like the voting was technically right, but they're like, where the hell did this extra 10,000 votes come from? That wasn't here, right? And so it was because that one digit got flipped that it was really, really obvious what had happened. That's how they figured it out.
Yeah. Pretty cool, isn't it? It's just wild.
It's
It's a really crazy thing to say. It's like saying I can prove that a ghost interfered with my thing, but in this case you say that I get to. In this case you can say that cosmic interference caused an election-like result to be different. Isn't that amazing? I love that. It's so cool.
It's not really something you think about.
It sounds magical, mystical. It's like, okay, wait a minute, what is this guy on drugs?
It was in Belgium.
Right, Belgium.
A candidate, I'm not even going to pronounce that, received 4,096 more votes than mathematically possible, which was detected because her total exceeded the number of eligible voters. After a recount, the excess votes were corrected, and the official explanation pointed to a spontaneous creation of a bit at position 13 in the memory in the computer.
So it just created 1 million votes.
Well, 4,096 votes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so one of the little bits got flipped. Just like that. Creates various interesting things. Crashes your computer, creates excessive numbers somewhere, changes the level of a game.
If you've ever had a blue screen of death, there's a possibility that was caused by a fucking particle millions of light years away coming and hitting your fucking computer.
Yes, imagine getting a DDoS attack from the universe. That's cool.
Wasn't there a guy he's doing a speed run of a Mario game and
Yeah, that's what we were just saying, yeah. And then it basically just jumped a level. Yeah.
Yeah, we just talked about it.
I like how I like repetition, but I can show you the transaction.
I'm sorry, I had to get
out the conversation.
I went outside to walk the dog, so I must have missed that bit.
No problem. We have the transaction hash here. There you go.
The real question is, the real question is, can we use this to DDoS China and Deep Sea?
No, you can't irradiate a population with cosmic rays. No, and even if we could, we shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't, but can you?
It's no, you really can't. You can't. Can you point me to the next cosmic ray manufacturer? It's called a black hole. Have you been able to control one of those lately? No, but one is called the funding for the United States of America. It's also called USA at the moment, but that's gone. So no more so we're not talking about financial singularities. We're talking about actual singularities. But we don't have those at our disposal. We can't really fuck with them. By the point that we can actually fuck with them and control them, then we can actually use gravitational lensing to use space itself as a lens, and then we can make super lasers. Actually, hyper lasers, because the problem right now, as a matter of fact, is that the lenses that we use, if we can actually push an insane amount of power through the current light sources that we have. We can push an insane amount of power through it, but it's just that the focal point of such a laser would destroy the very lens it would go through. And so that causes a bit of an issue, right? It's interesting because it's the same thing that also happens with an EUV machine, which is the thing that makes your chips. The chips that are super advanced, the ones from TSMC, they use an EUV machine, and that basically does lithography, but with light. So it basically uses light, and so the light that goes through the lens actually changes the lens itself a little bit because it heats the lens up. That same thing happens when you put a gigantic laser through a thing, which just basically fucking destroys the lens. There's one guy who's experimented with lasers, who created a laser so powerful that when he sent the laser through the super pure lens, there was a little bit of an impurity there, which shouldn't be because it's there because it's you can't really take it away. It shattered the fucking lens when it went through. It sounded like a gunshot and shattered the lens. So he did that. So if you imagine, hey, there's one way to solve it. What if we did a gravitational lensing, turned space into our lens? That's of course bullshit. But if you could, you could. It's literally called gravitational lensing. Because what do you think happens with the singularity? It's the same shit. There's like I can see that there's like a circle that is like around the thing, but also above and below the thing. But it's like actually not another circle. It's the same circle. It's just the light from behind the thing being bent over the thing itself to your perspective. You can actually see it. You're just seeing like over behind the thing from both ends simultaneously. That's pretty cool. That's why the Gargantua thing in Interstellar looks the way it does. That, by the way, is what a singularity black hole thing with an accretion disk would look like in real life. That is 100% accurate, by the way. Why do we know this?
That
Because
actually,
math.
There's the VF. We've talked about this before. Is the VF?
Yeah, it's double negative. It's a double negative gravity rendering engine. So they published a paper, a scientific paper, just because of the movie, because they were able to like manufacture this thing. And they like had a scientist work on this. Was it Kip Thorne, I think? And then they like came up and said, "Hey, we just rendered this, and it looks like that. Is that what it's supposed to look like?" Everybody had like a specific perception of what it would look like, and then that came out as like, "Is that what it's supposed to look like?" It's like, "Oh yeah, it's supposed to look like that." So that's why it's the most unique-looking black hole in all of media that had ever emerged up until that point. Yeah, it's pretty decent, isn't it? It's pretty nice.
What are you gonna do?
Man, I haven't done these in a while. I can tell people have definitely missed the spaces. We are so back, but like we could have done it differently. But yeah, I mean, awesome stuff. This is funny. It's great to have a bit of a break every now and then to kind of like accumulate a decent amount of like energy, knowledge, and like inertia, and just like kind of dump it. And I've had like a very interesting last couple of weeks, really, with a lot of various elements of adventure that has like changed parts of myself in a very good way, which I'm pretty sure many can like actually notice. There's a different sense of data curation, and there's more of a grasp on some truly esoteric understandings of reality that everybody else has like access to as well, because we're swimming in it. And it's amazing. It's a beautiful thing.
I wanted to ask something. I keep getting my mic to work, but about the whole 8D stuff. So in theory, if something that's in the 8th dimension casts a shadow into the 7th dimension, it would effectively at some point get down to our dimensions that cast even a 2D shadow.
Well, it's like whenever something is like cast, which is just you remove a dimension from a thing that's supposed to be a shadow, then basically it's like, say I have this 4-dimensional item that's like a 3D item now,
That shadow has a shadow.
Yeah. So like, what if life was just a shadow of a bunch of like weird orbs and shit, And it's just fractals. Like, what if it's just fractals, and it's the visualizing metaphor thing, the thing that I showed people, like, in the chat, and they were like, what the fuck is this? I showed them, like, this interconnected web thing that's infinite, that's simulated. It's pretty cool stuff. The weird thing I sent in chat, it's like kind of throwaway, but people probably didn't see that.
It's like twirling and zooming in. Yeah, I saw it.
It wasn't the animated thing, because I never sent anything that's animated. That didn't exist. Do you like me to mind it? What was the? It's like when I was posting about I made a triangle. I don't know what's wrong with your audio, but that shit sounds horrible.
Yeah, change your voice isolation mode or something.
Isolation mode, he's like has a physical thing that he has to plug in. Just like take the physical device, bring it up to you, and like just use that and stop like unplugging the thing, because it's causing like an auditory interference thing that's really, really annoying. That thing, yes. Yeah, don't do that.
I have a. But that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, dude, I don't know like where your mic is at, but it seems to be far away from the thing that's, Also, the thing I was referring to, by the way, is called like Indra's net metaphor. So you can look that up, and it's like you start to see things. It's pretty cool. What else are we doing here? Okay, this looks interesting. Nice, awesome. But yeah, man, it was an interesting. It was definitely an interesting appearance for sure. It was very entertaining. Trump is entertaining as usual. We're left with a feeling of many more interesting things to come, especially economically. And I wonder what that's going to look like for many other nations. It was actually funny because I recently spoke to someone who was like involved in the climate thing, and he was asking him, "Hey, who you're funded by?" And he's like rattling off all those like all those different countries, and then just finishes off by saying, "Not the USA." I'm like, that's a very very intentional, specific inflection there. Is that because you are feeling funny about taking US funding? Is that the new tactic? Because like, what if the new tactic for them is to shame the US and say anything that's from them is to be shamed? I'm like, that's a very interesting strategy, except you have a failure in that strategy of your own. You don't make anything. Like, what do you make? You know, you get all your stuff from, like, your entire defense is from the United States, your computers are from the United States, your tech is from the United States, your fucking, almost everything is, and or from other countries around you, which are not European. You're not gonna make it. And then it's like, oh, we have the greatest ally? That's not even part of the European Union.
And also, interesting thing is, everything that they import or that we import from Europe won't sell for as much in other countries. So they want to sell it here because they're gonna make more money. Like,
exactly. Actually, I mean, it depends on what they're selling. For like the stuff that they do make, there's still merit when it comes to like the precision components for various types of machines. That's really what they kind of excel at, but it's a very, very niche market. So, problem for them. That's the only thing that they have an advantage in. But here's where the problem is. Not only does it cost much, but it costs much to manufacture, not just because it's like the skilled labor that's behind it, but also because labor in general is very expensive in Europe. So much so that it makes more sense for them to physically ship the parts for like a machine that they manufacture, assemble it in China and send it back to them. Or send it from that point to somewhere else, wherever the customer may be. So it would be a German, let's say imagine if you like have German component machine that's assembled in China. Because the cost is just too damn high to put like screws together because like the labor cost is insane. So you're just doing the Intel thing now. Intel as in intelligence, not Intel as in the fucking company. But you know what I mean. It's interesting. So that's the only thing that Europe still makes. It's like precision components for various things. Lenses, for instance, are a big thing there. Like the size lenses. It's actually the first lenses that I like use. Are pretty cool.
The Chinese embassy in the U.S. posted, if war is what the U.S. wants, be it a tariff war, trade war, or any other type of war, we're ready to fight till the end.
Jesus fucking Christ, is that real? Pin it to the top, please, if it is. That is crazy. I want to see this with my own eyes. Yeah, pin that shit to the top. I want to see that. That is some wild fucking shit. Wow. That's not good. That's bad. That's very bad.
What does it mean for Taiwan?
Nothing good. Anything tension-wise between the U.S. and China is nothing that can reflect well on Taiwan.
And
let's have a look.
That's true, yeah.
You're telling me, man. Alright, let's have a look here. Jesus Christ, it's real. Is this wait, there's no way that are you sure that they're actually posting this, or this is like not some sort of hack?
yes,
Yeah, they've had several other posts since then.
Damn. This is pretty, like...
Also, keep in mind that they posted it on another official Chinese spokesperson account as well.
If the US truly wants to solve the fentanyl issue, they did it with a hashtag, which is interesting, issue, then the right thing to do is to consult with China by treating each other as equals. This is the thing that's important now. You, like, left that one out. If war, and then the line of, if the war, you know, be it whatever it is, yeah, that is an interesting thing. Because they're complaining about the reasoning of the U.S. raising tariffs due to, like,
Yeah, but I think what did catch my attention is any other type of war.
Yeah, that part is a little bit, that's a little bit
raising
funky.
the specter of a hot war, which is
Yeah. They're using this as, like, the packaging. They're using the fentanyl backlash thing as, like, a packaging. But this is quite crazy. Damn, dudes, this is...
I mean, it's a very notable ratcheting up of the rhetoric, and given all of the kind of hardline stances we've seen about China, some cause for concern.
Indeed, indeed. Very true, very true. That's fucking crazy, man. I can't believe that's real. That is wild. Jesus.
To be fair, that follows the timeline of war by 2027, which I'm pretty sure is what the goal is, so...
There are like means by which we can, like, invert that, but I don't know. Maybe some things really do happen. But at the end of the day, we can still kind of, like, chud this and go nothing ever happens. But we'll see. Somebody needs to turn this into a chud thing. Who out here is a good memer that can turn this into a chud jack meme? If you guys know what a chud is,
Probably
you know,
JP.
yeah, fucking, I want a chud jack meme of a nothing ever happens Chinese embassy, like, you know, hot war escalation ratchet thing. Yeah, dude, if this post explodes, that would be fucking funny as hell. I made like a post where I think it could go up in numbers, but we'll see.
I'm just thinking, like, what could be their game plan? Like, they are not superior to the US in a lot of things, and we have a lot of allies. A lot of countries surrounding China as an ally for the US. So what's their game plan? Like, we are friends with Japan, we are friends with Taiwan, we are friends with India. Like, what's exactly their game plan? I'm thinking.
Wait, what do you mean we're friends with India?
Well, if there is a war that's going to break out, then do you think India won't be on our side?
India is trying to play like a central role between like the powers. They're trying to kind of like do like a shitty version of Singapore, where they're trying to like keep both sides happy. So like they're like negotiating with Trump, but at the same time and acting friendly with Trump, but at the same time they're like in BRICS. So
Right.
I don't know.
Do we think India's going to stay in BRICS, though?
I think so, because they right now they're working on improving their relationship with China. I mean, they recently talked to each other. I think they've resumed flights now as well.
No, but you don't think they would side with China when there's a war, right?
I don't know what to say.
I mean, India literally fought wars with China in the
I
19...
know,
Yeah.
I know, but that's like saying, like, would you think India was signed with the UK in the case of a war?
Right.
Right? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Just it's kind of like the position of, I don't know what India is gonna do. India is very unpredictable.
Yeah.
Because I know the Indian people are probably gonna prefer to side with the US over China. But I think the Indian government is kind of gonna realize that you can't really survive without like actually resources and manufacturing.
Right.
So I'm not as confident that the Indian government is going to do the same. I think India is going to try to do what like Turkey and the UAE have done during the Ukraine-Russia war, which is try to be like neutral on both sides.
Imagine if they're just like, we can't fight China, we can't be friends with the other side either. What if we're like, hey, if you guys want to like go through like, you know, this place towards each other, you can like build nice roads and like, you know, kind of not meet in the middle. That would be preferable.
I would like to think they won't go nuclear with anyone, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this nuclear is not gonna happen. The level of last resorts that need to occur for nuclear to exist as like a consideration for anything warlike is just wild. So, yeah.
What I find funny is
I think there's some stage, probably, where if you have enough nuclear weapons, you can just go around bombing fucking non-nuclear countries, and there probably won't be any nuclear bombs. Because like, if you got like 100, let's say, nukes, and you just start bombing some random country, right? I don't think the US or Russia are gonna get involved nuclearly. They're not gonna have
Nuclearly. Just say nuclearly, bruh.
Yeah. They're probably gonna put sanctions on you, but I don't think they're gonna blow you.
Blow me? Okay. Your base department, check this. Check this out. I get it.
That would have been wild.
Yeah. That's gonna be a bit of a problem. Yes, brother. It happens.
I think if there's a war with the US and China, I think it's gonna be a situation of countries choosing which one is more important to them, whether the resources are more important to them, food, water, manufacturing, the things they need for the country to function, or whether like the financials are more important to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think another big part of it is going to be finding out how extensive and deep the Chinese infiltration of the United States and allies have been, because I have a feeling it's pretty extensive.
Yeah, the Chinese probably are more in the system than most people would think. Especially since you have to consider that pretty much every single fucking jet and plane and whatever the US military uses components from China.
This here is nice. Let's see what happens next. What is this? Bruh. Absolutely just bruh. You know, I sometimes don't like understand the types of like requests that come into spaces. Like this one that it literally has as a banner, "Follow me." I'm like, what? But that's just platform manipulation. Ever heard of that? That will get you banned so fucking hard. Like, there's a thing that people need to understand about growing anything. What do you have to sell? And what level of attention is going to buy that? This is what people need to understand. It's all about network states. It's all that it is. Okay, X.com is a sim cluster video game. What you're trying to do is you're trying to provide something of value that then gets picked up. Now, oftentimes, there's inflation, where then basically a bunch of people do engagement farming, but eventually the system like gets a nice governing structure and it says, we detected the money printer. It's going to be turned off now. You know? And then the value of engagement changes. And there are many different ways by which this is done. Right, none of which I'll explain, because fuck that. That's why. What you're supposed to focus on is creating stuff that is of value. And asking people like for follow backs or asking people for, you know, just like engagement or trying to inorganically create these things is not going to be the play. It's not going to be the move, rather. It has to be a thing that organically happens. It has to be organic, natural interest. Manufactured artificial interest does not exist, and it's bullshit. It's never going to get you anywhere. So, it's attempting that to help you save your money as well, and saying that shit is not going to work. You're never going to get anywhere with that.
I don't get it. Like, you only identify me with one side of my ancestry. Like, what is this? It's talking about the black civilian you come from.
And with useful,
you know, I'm not talking about that. Listen, I'll take it a step further. On my Dominican side, I'm probably a descendant of Christianized Moors. I think the Moors were never Christianized. Yes, they were. Most of them, you're an idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about.
You have to consider that eventually you get to like a higher level of these things. But always one thing that you have to remember is keep quality as the metric of consistency. Never should you waver in this, because if you do, then everything goes down to hell and you'll burn so quickly what you've taken so long to build up as well. And if you like begin with a no quality thing, you're fucked by default. You're sitting there, and then there's nothing you can do. So that one account that's requesting there, that's like doing the very thing that I just described, which is the thing that you should not be doing, take this as a lesson, and I'm going to remove your fucking grifter ass from this space. Go fuck yourself, and come up with something that's actually better.
Elon Musk just kicked me?
What is that? It like requests on its face like that, and doesn't it? Like, first of all, the level of rude entitlement is just wild. Like, it's not even following me, which is hilarious. It's just for that alone, I'm like, fuck you. Like, what is that?
Those accounts are really fucking.
That's rule number one.
Like, what is this? Like, what level of spam is this? How about no? You know? Yeah, it's like the thing with like Monty Python, or like wherever that came from. No, not even like it wasn't even Monty Python. It was the other one. It was Dr. Evil. Like, how about no? It's funny. You know, and you know, it's interesting because I've been there myself. I've been on like the level of where, you know, we all started at zero, and I really did start at fucking zero with this. And then eventually created something.
I thought you were the greatest of all the gods. Fan account that Lanya created was supposed to be like a record of Beth and they finally got Jan the Coup to follow him, but his account was just so shit, right? But like it just died. Nothing came of it.
Yeah. I mean, he's got the indefinite follow now, because it's not like, you know, Yamaku is actually here. He pretends not to be here, so he's not going to do anything. Like, he's going to change as little things about his account as possible to kind of keep the false, you know, pretense of not being here thing keep going. So it's like, hey, I have this thing. And my thing is that I'm not here. But like, okay, so what am I talking to? You know? Like, are your posts in the room with me? Because those replies that you say aren't posts are actually counted to the total of posts on your profile. That means that by definition, those replies are actually posts, and that means that you're actually technically back. Because you're not just interacting with us, you're also literally posting things, because when you make a comment, the counter for posts goes up. By the way, very interesting for reply guys to know that. That also means that the more replies you do, the less engagement you get on your main timeline, because you're spamming the shit out of yourself. If you're like a content creator, you can just, do a shit ton of replies and have like a single hit piece of like content, which is, like a big article or something, keep that on your profile. The rest of the time you're just like out there engaging and doing your thing, you like have your content with the replies, but that's not gonna like get you as much reach as you normally get. But that's an interesting strategy, you can definitely pull it off. It's like people who I know that just basically chase meme replies, where they just go around and they just reply to like these memes, and it's the funniest context, and everybody always jumps on it. They get like no followers off of that, but it's just a thing that they enjoy.
I think the most liked tweet I've ever made was we're so back. Like it was like nothing. Like 2,000 likes or something. Like, we're so back. Like it's just a nothing meme. Like,
it's the nothing meme is the everything meme.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. By the way, when you come like on a place like this, just breathe, relax, and like collect the thoughts first. You should be fine. Like, just relax, man. You sound nervous as hell.
Oh no, I'm just It's
Yeah.
I'm feeling great actually. I just smoked a joint.
Okay, now that's the inverse of that, right? You're a little too chill.
There you go.
I was like, either this guy's nervous as hell or he's a little too chill. It's like, which of the two is it? I didn't expect that, because it's like, the words are making sense, but like the brain to language interface is not working.
It's like this kind of stuttering thing.
The language to brain interface is working, but the other way around is not. Like the encoder is not doing its thing, but the decoder is like working on overdrive.
It's working, the mouse not working. It happens.
I'm trying to like fuck around with the controls thing.
It's frustrating. I get like crap, like certain words will like. I can't.
Why do you do that? Like, why do you smoke a joint? I've never done a joint before in my life, and I didn't really see the point of doing it either.
I think I like the method of consumption. It's
so
like,
why do you do like the THC to the point that your brain does the thing it's doing now?
It usually doesn't do that.
Okay.
It's a stutter that goes.
Alright.
I didn't actually know I would have it because I hadn't been talking like for the past couple hours. So
Once you like get warmed up into the talking thing, it gets the thing, right?
But it's kind of weird though.
Please don't scroll.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to become a big content creator one.
Like, are you?
I don't smoke at all, dude. I'm clean as hell. I don't like smoking.
You've done it though?
Please don't scroll.
Miles, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, no, I'm just like preparing my food.
We don't
we don't want to like hear the background audio.
Yeah, we don't really like drugs here.
Wait, what? Oh, the other way around. Okay, so anyway, that's not what I was referring to, but no, we did. I don't smoke like at all. I don't really drink. So basically to summarize, the only things that I consume, which would be, mind-altering substances, are basically none. I keep painkillers to none. I drink coffee and perhaps an energy drink occasionally, so that I can just like feel accelerated. Then alcohol is just an occasion thing. I don't drink it unless it's like an occasion, or if it's I'm just chilling with a bunch of people, and it's just a random idea, and say, hey man, let's go to a bar. I was doing this with our friend Trent, and I was going to a bar with him, and we had like a Negroni, and it was really, really good. It was nice. It was a good tasting thing. And I'm probably gonna have it again, because I don't know shit about like alcohol or cocktails or anything. So I'm like, okay, so what are you gonna have? And then, he ordered that thing, and I ordered that thing as well, and I drank it. I'm like, damn, dude, that's actually pretty good.
What's a Negroni? Is that like fruity? Like, is it...
Yeah, it's fruity. I don't know what it is either. I just know what the name is. I know it's a weird red drink with a bunch of ice in it and tastes like a grapefruit.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
It is real good. He's got some strange taste buds. He drinks the green Monster energy drink. I fucking tasted that shit. It was disgusting. I can't do that.
Do you like the white one?
And the white one slaps, man. The white one is on top.
I bought one the other day because of you.
So in my opinion, what's wrong with me?
I just saw it in the.
I bought one too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. It was just.
It's the memes, man. Dude, literally, I saw that shit in the fridge when I was like in New Zealand. And I was like, dude, I feel the memes speaking to me. I was gonna fucking buy it and eat like a pie with it. And I'm sitting there chugging the shit. I'm like, damn, this tastes just like what the memes feel like. It's amazing.
Yeah. That was your first draft for them?
Yeah, that was the first one, yeah, because I never like wanted to drink the energy drink, so I thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna get that because the memes are interesting, so I want to know what the rage is all about. And I took a sip of it, and I'm like, damn, dude, that's actually the best energy drink that I've ever had. I don't like energy drinks. I really dislike them because they taste weird, but that one actually tastes pretty good.
They were not black. Because I don't know if they think black means dark.
No,
It's funny how
not really.
there's no differentiation in between the blacks in America, right?
It's almost like
They're all just niggers.
Yeah.
Battery acid? Wow, that's a new one. I've never had that taste before in my life. That's cool.
It has it almost like
Like I said, when did you taste battery acid?
well, it's like the aesthetic of battery acid, but like,
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute.
if that makes sense, like yes. Yeah.
What are you gonna do,
Yes,
Kathy?
but for me, it just tastes like brake fluid. Is
It
that like
has the brain feel of battery acid.
Okay, that makes sense. It has a brain feel of battery acid, but also kind of like has the weird associative hash of brake fluid. Where you
What are you
can
gonna
assume
do,
what brake fluid
Kathy?
smells like. That's what the thing tastes like.
Yeah.
It's like with Pepsi. It's like not with Pepsi. It's sorry, the other one. It's like with fucking Sprite and window cleaner.
Huh?
I actually had Sprite recently, and I really grew out of it. I'm like, this tastes disgusting now. I don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
It's funny, my preferences changed so hard because actually, but Coke is still the best. I like Coke is still so good.
I've never drunk this in my life.
It's great. You should try it. Just for the hell of it.
tried it, but like I hated it so much. Like,
Okay, so you did have it.
yeah, but I didn't finish it. Like it was like one sip and done.
You didn't like it? Didn't like it?
No, it was like repulsive. Like
Dude, I tried it for the first. I still remember the exact. Dude, I can't believe I just remember that. I still remember the exact fucking scenario in which I tried it for the first time, and it instantly like one-shot me. It was like somebody was holding a door open. It was like one of the people that I worked with, and it's like, hey, you ever had a Coke before? I'm like, no, man. Here you go, try it. And I like took a sip of it. And I'm like, this tastes amazing. I want
how
more.
old were you? How old were you?
I was like 13 at the time.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, I was 13 at the time.
Yeah, my dad.
Ironically enough, I had like various types of alcohols before I had the Coca-Cola, so that's funny. The reason why this is because Europeans. Actually, this is a funny story. I was 9 years old or something like that, almost, actually no, 10, and I went to my grandparents' house. And for some reason, so they were outside, they were chilling, okay, and one of the visitors like brought a little, a bottle full of this distilled alcohol liqueur thing, a schnapps, basically, it's schnapps. And it's crystal fucking clear. It's beautifully pure. Anyways, like they were doing the adults thing, and I wanted to try some. Anyways, no, never got to try it. Took a little bit of taste of it, like a little drop, literally a fucking drop, just a taste. It was like a pure thing. It was so fucking rich and so great. Anyways, they were outside playing, doing their thing. I was playing out there as well, and I wanted to go outside to get like to drink some water, and I didn't want to drink from the tap. And I thought, man, I gotta drink some water. And I see this tiny little glass. With like this clear liquid, and I have no idea why I thought it was a good idea to drink that. There was like random fucking glass, tiny glass with like clear liquid in it. Let's just chug that, you know? Child brain says that. Anyways, I the thing. I pick it up, I chug the full fucking thing down, and my shit's on fire. I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. And that was my first experience. I was a little fucking like 10, just fresh off of 9 years old, little dude that took a shot of fucking German schnapps without even knowing it. And I was like, I'm gonna die. I was having a panic situation because I was like, whoa, what did I just take? Did I take someone's medication? Because, you know, you're at an old person's house and you like drink the thing down that like tastes like, I don't know what that is. And you just put that down. You're like, what the fuck is this? Did I take somebody's medication? Am I going to die? I'm just going to like eat something. I was like complete survival. Like randomly took something out of the fridge and drank something and just sat there for a little bit. And I didn't tell anyone.
Adrian, do you mind if I steal that for like a piece of writing I'm doing?
If you can cite me in some capacity, then yes.
Yes, I will. And I'll send it to you.
Go ahead. Go ahead, do it.
You'll enjoy it.
Sure, 100%. Go ahead.
That's great.
There was another time I did something similar. It seems to be a consistent meme with me where I just take things that I don't tell. Where this one time, so you know argan nuts, which make argan oil from the argan tree. This stuff is very interesting. It's a beautiful, argan oil is an intensely nutty, delicious oil, especially when cold pressed. It is beautiful. Hang on a second. Bro, that's crazy. Sorry. Anyways, I just read something. I was like, that's crazy work. Anyways, so like back to the argan trees, right? So there's this beautiful, nutty, intense oil. And the wood, by the way, is extremely hard. You can rip a piece of the wood off. Don't really encourage you to do this because they only grow in Morocco. And you can like put it in water and it fucking sinks. That's how dense it is. It's amazing. Anyways, it's like so fucking hard to like take off the fucking tree. Normally you can just like rip shit off a tree. This shit, no. Full fucking like big dude try to rip the fucking thing off the tree, not gonna budge. You're gonna like cut it off somehow. And even at that, you can have problems. Gonna make him knife dull. Anyways.
Yeah.
Goats. Now we're gonna get into the goat territory. So we have the argan trees that grow there. They grow on like this expansive landscape. It's the craziest thing you'll ever see. And there's like tons and tons of them. They're big, old. They're probably centuries old at this point already. Trees that are standing there, and goats are crawling inside and on top of the big tree. Somehow, the goats have figured out we can climb trees now. Okay? And what the goats do is when the fruit turns yellow, where the seed is on the inside, you have like flesh on the outside, and if the seed on the inside, and the seed is what you then milk to turn it to the oil, they eat those seeds, like they eat the flesh off of it, and just like kind of shit out the seeds and whatever else, right? Now they're not going to take the shit out seeds for anything like that. That's not what's happening here. But it's interesting that the goats are doing this. So you see the goats feeding on this, and they fucking love it. This is important context, by the way, and we'll get into exactly why in just a second. So the goats do this. So anyways, I went to a place where they were actually making the argan oil by hand, and they were sitting there with like these old stone mills, and they were like grinding the argan seeds into a paste. And it smelled amazing. It smelled so beautiful. Tasted like you could smell it. It almost smells like something that a bakery smells like, but all the good parts, not the annoying parts, all the really tasty, you want to taste it kind of like thing where it's like, I want to really taste it for no fucking reason. You can't explain it, but it's there. So that took over my mind. And what happened was I decided, there's paste there, and I know that paste contains this stuff and it looks delicious. I'm going to social engineer this person to like allow me to taste it, but I'm going to do it the other way around. So what I did was I went up to him, a little fucking kid, imagine this, I'm like 8 years old, and I like go up to the woman there, I'm like, hey man, can I like try and do this, just to like see what it's like? I was like, yeah, sure, yeah, take a little break, and then I'm doing the thing, I'm looking around me, like this little fucking kid, so like, I'm still milling the thing, like trying to get in circles, and then I take my finger and take a little bit of a dip from that and put it in my mouth. Oh my god, it was so fucking bitter. It was the most bitter thing I've ever tasted in my fucking life. And I even swallowed it. So I am there, and I'm like, completely shocked. I'm stunned. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna get up now and just like walk away and just do my thing. And then this entire time I'm just standing there like a fucking statue and my eyes are like popping out because I'm stressed as fuck. And anyways, I go in the back of the car and we do like a whole road trip and I don't say a word, I don't say a single word the entire time. I'm normally a very chatty person, but at that time I just said absolutely nothing for like 4 or 5 hours straight because my entire tongue was numb and I felt like I was gonna die. I was like, oh my god, am I about to die? Because like whenever something really strange like that happened to me, my brain instantly was like, oh no, it's over for me. What the fuck do I do? So I'm sitting there and I'm constantly having like an existential crisis for like hours on end. And I never told anyone. And they were like, oh wow, it was so nice. You were so nice and silent during the road trip. And I was having a road trip because I was having a fucking existential crisis due to the bitter ass fucking nut paste from the fucking argan tree because the goats psyoped me. I saw the goats fucking eating it. I got the smell and I tasted it. It was like, it's amazing. And I saw the paste. I thought, this probably tastes sweet. Fucking takes a dip. And it's the most bitter thing I've ever tasted in my entire fucking life. It was insane. I swallowed the shit too.
My God.
And then I was just sitting there and I didn't tell anyone this for like a decade and a half. And then I told them one day, I'm like, hey, remember the one time I was super sad? And they were like, holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's like.
So I know what raw argan tastes like. 10 out of 10 don't recommend. Fucking goats are insane for drinking that.
Wow.
Wild, eh?
Yeah.
That is pretty that is something.
Yes. Absolutely. But you're very picky about what you put in your body. Like.
Yes.
What about have you ever taken like a prescription medication?
No.
No. Like
No.
I'm trying to think of one like antibiotics.
No, antibiotics. I might have taken it probably once because I had an infection with the leg.
Yeah.
That was a bad one. I went into like a tropical brackish water. By the way, quick safety announcement. If you ever go to the tropics and you get like a wound, don't ever step into the fucking brackish water. You are going to absolutely regret it. There's bacteriologically active stuff in that water that's gonna really fuck with you, man.
Yes.
It's really, really bad.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And that's what happened to me. It was the only time I actually took antibiotics.
Brackish is.
Then there was like this one time where I had like the absolute like worst shits because there was something in the water, and I knew what it was, but I also didn't know at the time, and I knew later what it was. They prescribed me medication like the fucking antibiotics for like basically having a liquid shit problem, and I'm like, are you guys insane? You're like doctors, and you're prescribing me a thing that's gonna destroy my micro gut biome. Just like, are you guys insane? I didn't say this to their face. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. I'm 100% gonna take it in the back of my mind. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm gonna do this. What do you think I'm retarded? And I'm like, no. So I go to like the thing, take the scribble paper, and give it to the person at the counter, and he's like, gives me back a bunch of pills. I put them in my pocket. I never take them. Same thing with the pain medication that they gave me once because I like sliced it to my finger right down to the bone once. And I like stitched that shit up. It was actually a funny story because that's like one of the reasons why I don't trust doctors anymore. Is because I looked at it and I knew it was like, hey, that's not so bad. I'm gonna like move my finger a little bit so I can get the muscle connection back. And they're like, no, you're not supposed to move it. I'm like, yeah, you are. I'm just not gonna say it out loud. So what do? Mobile games. I start using my finger as much as possible. I get the connection back, and when things are working, you know. Yeah. And then anyways, I see one. I'm like, you know what? They say that I have to like pull this shit out in like a week. They like want to take it out of me. I'm like, that's not healed. If I do this, that shit's gonna like open back up again. I said, no man, you gotta come in, you gotta get the thing removed. I'm like, okay, fuck it, I guess. I'm gonna trust them with this one last thing. And they gave me like pain medication for a slice in my finger. I'm like, it doesn't hurt that bad. If it's bad, it's hurt, and I physically cry from the pain, okay, that's an argument. You know, then you take your pain meds. But for a fucking cut in the finger? Like right there where the bone is? Okay, no. Dude, not that bad. It's not that bad.
What level of pain is that? Like,
I don't really know. It's just pain. You know, it's not. It's a level of pain that doesn't drive you to like crying, for instance. It's just kind of there. It's annoying when you like move your hands a little bit too quickly.
I've
That's.
I've dislocated both my shoulders at once.
Ooh, yeah, that you're gonna want to take painkillers for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely. Yeah, that's different. That one you're gonna have to take painkillers from. That's not. You're not gonna make that one.
I had a seizure, and I fell between my bed and my desk, and
wow.
Yeah, like I met a nurse actually that lived on my street, and she was like, "You're the, you, you, you,
You're the first person that happened to?
yeah, like."
Yeah, sorry. I'm like your own ChatGPT now.
Yeah. Like I was like, like,
You fucking legend, mate. You fucking.
They had seen it ever, like at the hospital, like, and yeah, I don't remember much of.
Yeah. Now that for that you definitely would want to take painkillers. Yeah, 100%. That's understandable.
Yeah.
But like for my thing, I was like, there's no fucking way I can like tough this out. There's nothing to it. It's like not that bad. To give me painkillers for that is insane. Anyways, that they did, and then they told me to like come in and get the finger thing. And so it's like a bunch of strikes. Or it's like 2 strikes. It's like one, you're going against the logic of how to restore nerve connections. Then you go against the logic of like it's not that bad of a pain. You should definitely know what the pain is because you like injected me with like a painkiller on that place to basically do the stitching, so I wouldn't scream like hell because that's what you do, of course. So you definitely understand that what you're giving me is way over the top because you're like basically inundating my entire fucking body with painkiller substance just to like get the little fucking slice thing. Wild, okay? Anyways.
How do you
I go there, they fucking like remove the stitches and the wound just like I predicted opened up and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna trust these motherfuckers with anything ever again. If I want to get my stitches, I'm gonna get my stitches. If I ever cut myself like that again, by accident, by like we use tools or whatever like that, so either I'm gonna do it myself, which I'm definitely not gonna do because the pain's gonna be unbearable. If I do go there, I'm just not gonna like show up within like 2 to 3 weeks, I'm gonna just show up in like 2 to 3 months and like, or take it out myself, because I could have just done it myself. There's just stitches and they use like these plastic strings for this. So I could have just done that myself. I don't even know why I did that. I just did it because I felt, you know, not.
How do you feel about
confident.
topical anesthetics, like you know, numbing, like type stuff, like?
That's fine. It depends on like the problem that I have with the painkillers are the side effects. The painkillers themselves, if they had no side effects, fuck it, man, I'd take them a lot. I actually take one painkiller sometimes that's like paracetamol, like, you know, you take Panadols or paracetamols, those things, like if you have like a problem somewhere and you have like a headache, you need to get rid of that shit quickly. That's one of the ones that you can like use. They're great. So I don't have a problem with painkillers in principle. I'm not like the person that says, oh, you gotta tough it out because you're a man. So like, that's fucking shit stupid. No, I'm a person that says, I like, what are the side effects? How often do I take it? And how does it actually become a problem? And you just kind of math out the scenario and you'd be like, okay, this is an issue or this is not an issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of like how I rationalize it. Because if the painkillers, the side effects of those painkillers that they were prescribing were just not acceptable. I'm like, this is just too risky. The chance of like having harm, experiencing harm as a result of this is so high. It is literally an unacceptable risk level.
You
So
really
I'm not
think
doing
that with paracetamol, with acetaminophen in this state, that it's like that detrimental?
Bro, I want to know what they prescribe to a person in the United States if you come into like a hospital with a headache. If they give you hard drugs, I swear to God, it's going to be hilarious.
No, they don't. They don't.
Because they do have a huge opioid epidemic, especially academic lol.
But they also like there's this whole drug seeker thing, like drug addicts faking like the pain to get painkillers.
Yeah.
So that's like a bigger problem than anything else, really.
True. That's why you have an actual opioid crisis, but they're also prescribing these things, and they're so addictive that it basically is just like, why are you even prescribing them in the first place when you can just like not do that?
Yeah, I mean, it was much worse like in the 90s and like the early 2000s with because the OxyContin back then was instant release, whereas now it's like 8 hour
slow release.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just like way different. And
You're a slow release, I'm fast release. We like complement each other. It's like you're doing the talking, I'm doing the talking for you as well. I get my nerd comments, I get the hash power down.
Yeah, we're synced though. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the 21 network effect.
Yeah, for sure.
21 network effect.
Yeah. Yeah, I will never. Yeah, painkillers are no good for me. Like opioids, that is like never. Again, like it's you just don't need it most of the time. Like naproxen, sodium, I think is the best painkiller. Actually, like I think that's like because paracetamol will actually mess with your liver pretty bad. Like you really shouldn't take it, especially if you drink every day. Like it'll destroy your liver.
Right.
And yeah, so and naproxen is much more safe. You know, like
Good thing I don't drink every day, so that's fine.
yeah. No,
it depends on also like the load you put your liver on and like how well you hydrate and all the stuff you do to yourself on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I got healthy around like 27 or so because I didn't really give a shit until about then, and that was about a good age to kind of give a shit, like it was very much like make or break. Like I could be a fat alcoholic in 5 years, like from now, or like with like a weird liver, and a distended belly, or I could not be that and look attractive.
What's wrong with a distended belly?
It's people will commit to that, and they don't, they know that they're gonna look like shit in 10 years. They'll take it any day. It's weird though. But Europeans kind of they don't really have that effect as much, I think, as Americans do. Like being aged out by constant kind of drinking and whatnot.
I mean, they start their kids on early. You should see what the fucking French do. They give you like a little wine at age 15. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I did it differently. I used to like sneak the alcohol because I would be like, okay, my parents are like drinking this to like chill off, and I'm just like scouting the glass, and I'm like making mathematical calculations in my head as to who's gonna move when, where, and how, and then just like basically gauge the vibe. And then I just like make my move, go there and take a decent fucking sip, and then just sit there and go like, ah.
Wow. Just
Yep, that's how we do it.
Yeah. Yeah, America would go woohoo.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Right. By the way, what do you guys think? Shall we like shut it for today and like do a bunch of other things and do our things that we have to like do?
Yeah, fair enough.
Alright. Anyways. I've been see you guys. This is fun. We're gonna do this again probably tomorrow or the day after. We'll see what happens. Be ready for a space. It can pop up at any minute, anywhere. And entertainment, whatever we do, is always guaranteed. So we're not gonna like bore the shit out of you. Yeah. Thank you all for coming. This is fun. See you guys again tomorrow. And of course, catch me on timeline. I keep posting memes like crazy. I'm gonna be around and we'll do things. But yeah, thanks for coming, everyone. And yeah, if you enjoy what I do here and you like to have a bit more insights, just like subscribe to me. Look to the subscriber exclusive content. There's like a thing there which could be interesting. So yeah, it only costs like $1. There's an interesting like barrier to entry for people. So yeah, just subscribe to me. It's a thing. You won't regret it. It's amazing.
Great choice, yeah.
All right.
Must be so interesting. Like, get in a car, right? Their experience is limited to.
What the fuck kind of man I look like? Sitting back. My wife get that kind of fire in her, and I'm sitting there, oh, baby. Now you just calm down. Nah, nigga, I'm probably a serial killer for real. What about these bodies out there while y'all bullshitting and thinking you know a nigga? I'm just saying. Like, if she said that shit, nah, buddy, she's not that type of person. So I'm just saying, any certain situations can bring it up in the best of us. She's not controversial. She's not angry. She's not mad at a bitch ass thing. But even someone like that, it can be brought up in and riled up in.
No, I get it.
Somebody who, if she'll do that for a stranger, what will she do for something that happens to you?
No, I get it.
And
Like I said, I've been in that situation with my own baby mama, and I didn't want her to die. Like, nigga, I was telling shit as a nigga that been through it. Like, no, I'm not finna put you in danger. I don't want you to be in the fight.
You put her in danger by knowing what type of woman you got and letting her know what you had going on. Because you know she wanted to.
And you want to know something done? You want to know something stupid? After they murk you, they still come from your family. You got people like that. After they murk your ass, they still come from your family.
You let her know what was going on, knowing the type of woman she is, and expecting her to do nothing, turn the other cheek. That's dumb.
That's why I would lie. That's why they're heavy on the lie.
In that situation, see, you looking for somebody that want to talk you off the edge because you ain't really about that shit.
No.
What you want her to do?
No.
So you just
I don't need you to do that. I just need you out the way.
Take her in your
I just need you out the way.
And leave you by yourself.
I just need you out the way.
Who got your back?
I just need you out the way.
That's not a woman who got your back. A woman who got your back gonna do everything in her power to make sure that's going out there shooting with you or getting you to not go shoot at all.
Facts.
But leaving you by yourself is the stupidest thing.
That's true.
That is not having your back to leave you out there to do the shit by yourself so you can die by your lonely.
Yep.
Man, Big Tim, what kind of advice is this? Ride or die advice? What the fuck, man? Read the scriptures, dog.
It's called all advice.
At the end,
Okay, I don't know, Burger King, you guys are able to have these jobs partially due to DEI.
That's not true. How do you know that?
What do you mean?
How do you know that? Where's your research that tells you that?
Can I say something?
I mean, hey, if you could flip a mean burger, I mean, sure. Like, I bet you could get that job on your own. But for the most part, most Black people in America and also other minorities and LGBTQ
give you a duffel bag of cash, and the farmers are doing that. Very simple. You had the upper hand, then you were encouraging them to grow opium. Now that the Taliban is in power, they're encouraging them to grow some other shit.
They had to work in hard, bro. You know how hard they had to work it during the U.S.'s involvement during that time? 80% of the world's production of opium was coming out of Afghanistan. Y'all motherfuckers were the biggest drug dealers in the world, bro.
Yeah, like I say, America has a history of that. They did that during the 70s and the 60s. America has a long history of drug dealing even in their own community. Can't forget Freeway Rick Ross, Bumpy Johnson. Like, we can't forget the Mafia. We can't forget Nevada. American guy, like, you know that. Them troops were sending that pure heroin from Vietnam.
Bro, there was nothing stopping the Afghanistans from growing wheat. We just wouldn't buy your fucking wheat. We don't need wheat. But we do need bingo. We do need. Okay then. So the point of the matter is, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're talking about, we could have made them grow wheat. Why the fuck would we make them grow wheat when we don't need no goddamn wheat? We have wheat over in our country. We grow wheat here. That's how it coming from motherfucking Canada. We don't need wheat from Afghanistan. So if we don't need nothing from you, and you can't make no money from it, then that's up to you, bruh. You could have grown wheat.
You would have just y'all just would have had a whole bunch of bread. That's it.
No, they could sell it now. Like now they grow saffron, they grow different type of crops. They can sell it to Qatar, they can sell it to Iran. So the problem is you was holding the people that want to buy their wheat and their saffron out of the country. So basically you have a monopoly. You wanted them to grow what you wanted. I'm glad he admitted that. It's like you don't want to buy their wheat, so you told them to grow opium. Just admit that, man. Pernell, you cool. But how many troops were like smuggling opium though, like in the bases and shit? I heard it was like a rampant thing that troops used to use a lot of drugs in Afghanistan.
You can't talk. Let's classify it. Let's classify.
That's not declassified.
I mean, y'all could kind of like, this the United States military or whatever. I mean,
no, we're not dissing. We just want to know the stories.
People do drugs all the time. As a matter of fact, some of the people that end up doing drugs in the military is usually due to the gateway from the opioids from them getting hurt. It's just one of those things, man. Motherfuckers go jumping from the plane, or they do some kind of fucking training and they hurt their back. You know what I'm saying? And they they go to physical therapy. They get the freaking drugs, the opioids, and that's the only thing that get them relief. And next thing you know, if they can't get the opioids no more, they turn to shit like heroin. I'm not here to tell you. If you waiting for me to tell you that motherfuckers in the military don't do drugs or don't end up doing drugs, you messing with the wrong person. Because when you get your fucking foot blown the fuck off, there's a good chance you might end up on drugs, dog. It's just because the amount of fucking drugs they're gonna give you just to get you out of the fucking pain to begin with. Like, yes, people in the military, some of them take drugs. Oops.
So when are we gonna go back to Afghanistan and blow up all of our shit?
Do you feel like you got a win on that one?
Pernell seems like he wants to go back and blow some shit up.
What the fuck for? You know what I'm saying? I just want to see the young Afghan farmers succeed. You know what I'm saying? I want to see the Taliban, get this shit together, stop killing these people over fucking drugs. What they got to do is like get more control over them and have them do plant the freaking poppy seeds and sell it and whatever they got to do, and just make it to where they don't take it. You know what I'm saying? Make it to where they don't take it and make motherfucking, because I mean, the drugs, there's nothing wrong in making the drugs. Like, okay, bam, there's nothing wrong with it. We already established that, right? The problem is them using it for heroin. So if the Taliban just stop them from using it for heroin, then there's no reason to kill them from planting the damn poppy seeds, because it's not. You don't have to use it for bad. You can use it for good.
They grow right now. They're growing more profitable crops. Something called the what do you call it? The Persian saffron. You gotta go to your local Indian shop and get you some
saffron. Man, I've bought some saffron. That shit ain't fucking. What's the point? It's not amazing. Like, what do you do with it? It's like a garnet. Like, you put it in your salad. You put it in your tea. What the fuck is saffron?
Yeah, what's up with this dude, man? Like, what's going on? Is it a female?
He's a character.
No, I can't. I mean, you can make. You never been to Kava, nigga? Like Kava, they have saffron rice. You can make saffron tea, all kinds. It's good for you. It's expensive, but you can,
Yeah, but I don't want to eat nothing that all these Persians on their hands and knees picking it off of the floor. It's dirty.
Man, shut your ass up, man. You eat dirty ass hogs and pigs and shit, all kind of.
I said we just dropped nuclear bombs all over Afghanistan and destroy all of our military equipment we left. It's too dangerous to let them have those guns and those tanks and those APCs and helicopters.
Go get that shit, man.
It's what we should have done the first time, is just dropped a nuclear bomb on their ass.
That's what Burnett would have done.
But y'all see,
Which account?
the United States for their own shit. Like the United States didn't make them Afghanistan smoke heroin. That's a failure on the freaking on the freaking religious people over there.
Nah, you were stressing them out with your guys. Look at your homeboys there with their guys, man. They were stressed out because you were killing their people with their flip flops and their dresses and shit. You know. So can we say the same thing about the crack epidemics or the fentanyl epidemic in America?
Holy shit!
You don't want to get me started.
Who's selling the fentanyl? China?
Yo, y'all here talking about drugs? Yo, y'all heard Justin Trudeau's speech today? He said that the fentanyl is the legal excuse for why they're putting the tariffs on Canada. He was like, it's deeper than just the fentanyl shit.
What else was he saying?
Trudeau, he said that the Canadian border is like 99% secure.
Yeah.
Canada might invade America, man. It's a wrap for America.
Get the fuck out of here.
You do realize that Ukraine could fall to Russia, right? Like Russia could actually do a full-scale invasion. I mean, that is not outside of the bounds of possibility. And Zelensky fucked up so bad in the White House today. All the news is Zelensky has contemplated his behaviors and is now seeking a peace deal. Like, he fucked up. And Ukraine could fall. I mean, it'd be real tragic because hundreds of thousands might die. Who knows how many would die? But Zelensky fucked up so bad. But who gives a fuck about Trudeau? Who could give two shits about that little fucking rat? I mean, everybody was listening to. Did anybody watch the State of the Union address? All those victims that were there. The family of the guy in Pennsylvania, the firefighter whose family was there, that he got killed. And then, I mean, he was like passing out awards and also like giving people jobs. I mean, it was an amazing State of the Union. He fucking rubbed those Democrats' noses in the fucking shit.
They show up in all their pink and shit. That shit was hilarious. I'm like, look at these dumbasses. I was trying to see if one of the Democrat men would have showed up in a pink suit. That would have been funny.
Yeah, Congressman Green showed up with his cane. He was about to beat Trump's ass with that.
Yeah, they had to kick his ass out. Sergeant at Arms.
Alex, this nigga's an agent provocateur, man. This nigga.
You shouldn't start no fights.
Oh man, OG Green was about to whip that ass with a cane.
That dumbass made a fool of himself, man.
He gangster. He stood on business. What are you talking about? Like,
he would have threw. If he stood on business, he would have threw the cane at him. He could have done it. He was like 10 feet away. That cane would have went before.
Nah.
Agent could have stopped it.
That would be an L. He could have been charged with some other shit.
Nah, he would have just been tackled.
He need to be primary.
Yeah, charged, whatever.
He ain't gonna lose. He got that shit on lock.
Nah, he gonna lose. Watch. He gonna lose.
Come on, man.
The dude an idiot. Like have you heard him? Have you ever heard him speak like before? Like before, like when he's on like different shows? The guy's an idiot, man. He say like some of the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life.
Yo, he's a fucking Democrat in Texas. His whole party is gonna look at he's gonna have a hard time when he go back there. He's stupid as shit.
I'm telling him, he gonna get primary. Just like
what's the name? He got Houston on lock.
Hold on a minute. right? What is that one dude, the one that put a fire extinguisher, the fire alarm?
Jamal Green.
Jamal Bowman.
Jamal Bowman.
Jamal Bowman. Primary. Nah, I mean, it's not Trump that primary them. You know who you fuck with. You can't fuck with them boys, you know. Shit. They own America and they run America, so you don't fuck with them. Even Trump knows that. He had to put the seat for Benjamin Netanyahu. He's like, sir, should I get you some water or some wine or some whiskey, BB? My God, my Lord and Savior. So you don't fuck with them. America knows not to fuck with them. Shit,
well, you know, give me some of those. Yeah, give me some of those Democrat.
There's videos of him pulling the seat for other people.
Yeah, Jamal Bowman fuck with the Jews. That's why he got primary the fucked out. You know, he don't fuck with them boys. Everybody knows that. JFK got his brain blown off for fuck with them. Trump knows not to fuck with them, or Obama knows not to. No, but Americans can't fuck with them.
You're so full of shit, man. You're so full of shit, dude.
Your country will go back to the Stone Ages. You fuck
Are
with
you
them.
saying the Zionists control the world and control America? Do you have Jewish derangement syndrome? Is this like, how long are you going to go on this tangent?
I like that. I'm a Zionist myself.
You're a Zionist?
Shit. Can't fuck with them.
Shit.
Your Billy ass will be going back to the Caucasus mountain caves.
This dude, he just hates America, and any topic or any aspect or any tangent that we go on, if you notice, he's always gonna land on the side of where America looks bad. So if we're talking about the Jews, they got America bent over and they fucking them in the ass.
Well, let's just ask him, what do you like about America? Is there anything?
Like that's all he's doing, bro.
Is there anything he likes about America?
You know that Somalians, that's not a race, right? You know that, right?
Those are the Nubians.
You know that's an ethnic group?
I'm actually not Somalian. I'm a better Israel. I'm a Jew. What are you talking about?
He's a sodomite and a Sudanese. He's from Sudan, I can tell.
Yeah, I see you need to go back to school. Your school system has failed you.
What are you talking about?
Not you, Money. I'm talking about this clown troll. I'm not talking.
Yeah,
Clown troll! You the clown troll! You projecting!
I don't care.
Money time. I
So why are you talking about blacks though? What are you talking about?
You brought up Somali people.
Yes, I brought up Somali.
I just brought up a different fact. I'm just responding to your fact.
Yeah, your response doesn't make sense though. Because I was responding to what Lex said about the Canadian president and what he spoke about the border. And I spoke about the issue of Somalians in Minnesota where there's a huge epidemic of
I wouldn't say it's a huge epidemic.
Yes, it is. You can go and pull up articles of Somalians speak about it.
Yes, absolutely.
No, there were a couple of deaths. Money,
No,
I know about the.
I can get, okay, post some links because I can get links to what I'm talking about. I watched testimonials and everything. What are you talking about?
I'm not here to go into a bitter back and forth here, but I can assure you the Somali community of Minnesota are not all drug addicts, if that's what you're trying to say here.
That's not what I said.
It don't matter. They're gonna get deported. Tens of thousands of them are gonna get sent back to Somaliland. Bye bye.
All right. So you try to make it a huge problem. No, it's not. In fact, like I said in the chat, there's a bigger problem here to address. That's all I'm gonna say.
Illegal immigration is a bigger problem. We don't care how many drugs these Somalis in Minnesota are using. We just want them to get on the 747s peacefully, and when they land in Mogadishu, they get off and they don't say nothing. Just get the fuck out of Minnesota. Bye!
They're not going anywhere now. Unfortunately, a lot of them are citizens.
Citizens, we're gonna revoke that citizenship and tie Ilhan Omar to the front of the fucking plane and fly that shit to Mogadishu. Bye-bye!
thought it was a 6-year-old woman talking. And started talking like a normal man, and then now you're back to that voice. What's going on now? You have an identity.
Nothing. We're just flying Ilhan Omar back on the tip of a 747, and we're loading it up with Somalis from Minnesota. Bye-bye.
Hey, if you put her brother in the back of it, she might enjoy that.
You can fit 3 Somalis per seat.
The Somalis are having 10 kids per family. They're going to outpopulate you by 2050. We're talking about...
They're going to have a breakaway Somaliland in Minnesota. Declare revolution.
They got strong...
Civil war.
Man, what's up with this transgender, man? You need to get more kids, man. You need to be fucking more women like these Somali noblemen, man.
So I think the Somalis in Minnesota are at least twice as likely to die from opioid overdose than their white counterparts. Why is that?
I don't know where you're getting
that
from.
Why are communities? I post a link for
you asked me a question. Yeah, no. So
I posted the link for where my dating from.
I'm responding.
Somalian leaders who are speaking and reaching out. The government just gave over $20 million in grants for this issue. What are you talking about?
Yeah, if you let me for a second respond.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to like act like
let me respond. Go ahead.
People. Are you Somalian or something? If you are, why minimize the issue that your own people are speaking out against? Even the elders within the community.
I thought you were done talking.
So you're just going to erase that? Yeah, I want to see that's fine.
All right, so let me respond to it. So you reference an article as if it's a study where the article that you're referencing is literally saying Somali elders having an issue with overdoses due to that drug. Now, like, what does that mean? Is that an actual study that shows that there's a rise in deaths? No, it means that, yes, there was an issue where elders are... Let me finish. I'll let you finish. Yo. Vanessa, let me talk. Come on. Listen. Just because some elders saw some kids die, which, I mean, the Somali community is very close-knit, okay? They're very close-knit. And at the end of the day, obviously they don't want any kids doing drugs, nonetheless dying from drugs. So if a few kids die from it, of course they're going to make it a big issue because it shouldn't be happening whatsoever. Perhaps in the black community, it's normal to be dying of drug overdoses where your elders aren't necessarily mad about it or pretty okay with it. But in our community, at least,
oh, I see what's going on. It's always the new Africans making fun of the old Africans in America. It's so racist and stupid and bigoted. It's like demeaning. They love to put down the ADOS here in America. Someone is a racist.
You gotta understand.
You're a black supremacist racist, you dirty dog.
I don't know why y'all even here. Y'all need to leave.
But listen, all I'm saying is perhaps our community doesn't like that happening, so we bring it up into a bigger issue. Again, if your community is okay with it, that's your community.
What a piece of shit. There he goes again, slipping it in. You piece of shit, Sultan.
Pretty sure the Somali community is okay with stuffing their fucking face with cot every fucking second.
Yeah, that's also one of the drug issues.
Yeah, we love cots. You didn't know that?
I'm the captain now.
We love that shit.
When you see how...
I mean,
hold on a sec. When you see how motherfuckers be talking when y'all...
Yo, they kill those fucking Somalis. They snipe the fuck out of those niggas, bro.
Yeah,
you saw that movie, bro? You saw the brother, bro. You the fuck out, bro. Holy shit. Nah, Skull. Those Navy SEALs are crazy, bro. Fucking deadly, bro. You want to talk about Black Hawk snipers, bro? Your own fucking government fucking...
Nah, man, I saw them brains blow, bro. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, bro. Your own fucking government literally flooded your streets with crack. It made a whole community fucking crack addicts.
It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter.
Bro, you're in Canada, first of all, so you can't even see what the fuck is going on down here. I'm sure the Canadian blacks are much better.
For real.
But in America, at least, half the prison.
Yo, don't you guys notice? He looks a little Somali. His forehead is like a little Somalian.
Your money,
yeah.
A bit, my fool.
Yo, half the prisons in Somalia. Half the prisons got black niggas in there, bro. And why y'all
I think we should address that problem, bro. I think that's what we should address. And Somalia
why y'all ain't got no food over in Somalia? Why y'all always starving and have farming and shit?
Yo, what country are you from, Pernell? So I can cook you real quick. I mean, what country are you from, bro?
He's from the Caribbean.
You know what I'm saying? But you can't trick me. We don't be starving in the Caribbean. We got oxtail for days.
I ain't gonna talk about former slave stuff, bro. Please, just sit down.
Oh my God, this fucking piece of shit. Mute this motherfucker. Mute this motherfucker. This motherfucker.
Y'all over there. The last time Somalia was
Good, bro. Yeah, you had a soundboard too. Didn't you have the soundboard?
yeah. It tricked that.
Oh my God, the anti-Semitic Jew haters have united in power.
Shut the fuck up.
Perfect. Oh man, I got goo really good this morning. Used him as like a total overlay with Jazzy.
Elaborate.
It is wise for you to receive the dick. You demon. You just, how dare you abandon Jesus, you fucking demon. Chapter and verse. I demand chapter and verse, you demon.
Can you mute yourself, Galaxy? Your dick ain't that wise.
In a fucking prison cell telling me what I gotta do. Chapter and verse, you demon.
Get a life, Jeremy. Do something with yourself. Stop hanging out with all these monkeys all the time talking about nothing.
The fuck, nigga, you talking about Aleister Crowley all fucking day?
Reading a book. I'm trying to make myself smarter, you fucking idiots. Read a book. Read a book.
Do you find Aleister Crowley attractive?
I find your mama attractive. That's why I slit my big phallic dick in her ass.
Phallic dick is crazy because isn't okay, never mind.
Yeah, super redundant.
It's called the power of the phallus in that booty.
Cock, bitch, use less syllables. Also, do you guys realize that saying www is like 9 syllables, but saying World Wide Web is 3?
Jesus, you are a fucking moron. Shut up, Jeremy. Do you ever have anything intelligent to say? The fuck is wrong with you?
Never. How dare you?
Why is your title so stupid? America is not the next Russia, you dumb motherfuckers. And the biggest military doesn't always win at all. Haven't you ever heard of an inferior fighting power win over a superior fighting power? Who the fuck left Afghanistan? America, you fucking idiots. We withdrew. We lost 20 soldiers in the pullout. Pull out. Pull out. Pull out. Pull out. Pull out.
Agree. Open your mouth now.
Pull out. So did anybody like the State of the Union address? Any complainers? There's always a complainer in the bunch.
Fuck watching this shit. Don't nobody give a fuck.
Yo, Jeremy, send this man a starfish, bro. The fuck?
Hey, nobody give a fuck.
Open your mouth now.
Send him a
It
starfish.
sounds like you got fucking something in your mouth, princess.
You said what?
I said, it sounds like you got something in your mouth, fatty.
Pull out and keep it in. Pull out and keep it in. So hold on, can we just double click on what MD just said? Because I think it's important. I mean, it really is. Like, honestly, like, hold on. But what he just said is actually, like, legit, really important. And I don't care if that's your daughter. I don't care if that's you. Like, it's going to change your life whether you choose A or B based
on what MD just said. Like we all know that. Like we're all adults. We know that. Like it's so important, but also not relevant to the topic. I'm just gonna put that out there. But also like super relevant, MD.
Anyway, America don't ask for permission to do a motherfucking thing, okay? Think about Americans, like what's standard American, right? I think of the all-American white boy who played football in college. He drives a souped-up truck that his dad pays for, okay? He's a little yee-yee. They rape bitches. That's what America stands for.
What?
You over here talking about, oh, America's like putting the proverbial dick.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what America does.
You think America's a bunch of white boys driving around in leased pickup trucks raping women? You dumb motherfucker! What the fuck happened to you, princess?
Not even a courtesy finger beforehand, okay? America's gonna beat you over and raw dog you.
Raw dog and goddamn, princess.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't deal with that annoying ass, shrieky ass voice. Like, fix that. Get you a new stick. I don't like.
Yo, but fight back, princess. Don't be booming, motherfuckers, man. Fight that nigga.
Like, he's just annoying. I was in his.
Can't defend your position that you think America's a bunch of white men raping women in pickup trucks? The fuck?
Guys.
Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine, like, you trying to get there and that's what you have to hear?
Imagine having to listen to you talk about white boys raping women in the pickup trucks, you fucking moron!
And girls, BCC thing, and can we just have a conversation? Really quickly, because it's a good conversation. And then what Princess said was important, right? Is from the outside as a Canadian, when I look at America, my view is very different than what Princess just said. She said, hey, when I look at America, it's just a bunch of privileged crackers fucking, benefiting off our misery. I hear you. And when I look at America as a Canadian, I'm like, oh, that's that fucked up place where people go broke for getting cancer. It's that fucked up place where, like, you're more likely to be imprisoned if you're black. It's that fucked up place where if you are, black and get in prison for walking while black, you can't vote, and you work all day for 50 cents a day like a slave. Like, and I'm just curious, like, do you guys see America like I do from an outsider, or like the rest of the world? Do you guys see it as a princess?
I think it's both. I think if y'all put them both together, we might have a nice little sandwich. I think it's both.
That's a good. Andy, can you break that down? Because like I think that like the reality that the majority of imprisoned Americans in the freest nation in the world are black has more to do with the racist slavery history of America. And I actually think that most of those people are actually slaves, like are literal modern day slaves. They can't vote. They don't have any fucking sovereignty. A lot of them were put in jail for shit that didn't hurt anyone else's personal property. And the states and the private sector labor. Like, tell me why that isn't slavery. I'm genuinely curious.
What I'm saying though, like them privileged white boys that's riding around their daddy truck, that souped up that he bought them. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones that's throwing us in the prison. They're the ones that's taking it. Somebody they grabbing it by it. They grabbing it. They grabbing it. So it's always together.
In a poor Jewish neighborhood. I always found myself attracted to the boys with the big suit.
You know what, Princess? Don't be chasing crackers just because they have power.
No. Marry a nigga.
Very hard. We're all black.
How dare you?
The only thing I'm chasing is dreams and the bag.
Hold on. What I heard MD say, right? I'm just curious on your take on this, right? Because I agree with MD, right? Is that listen, if you don't agree that the disproportionate representation of African Americans in private prisons who profit are black people, and you can't acknowledge the fact that the majority of the owners who profit of those private prisons are white, and you can't acknowledge that the people who benefit from the slave labor of those African American prisoners are white owners of those private corporations, right? Like, if you can't acknowledge that modern day American prison system is literally just legal fucking slavery. Like, if you can't acknowledge that that's a thing in your system, and your response is like, oh, but white fuckers have pickup trucks. Like, can we have a conversation?
No, but I also feel like when, like, a lot of times, Jeremy, when we do have this conversation, when it comes up and people are like, you know, pointing these things out, a lot of the white people get uncomfortable and they be like, oh, it's always a race thing with you. So
That's because you say white men rape women in pickup trucks.
Hello, calm yourself. Thank you. I think it's interesting because you are Canadian and you seem to know more about the history of this country and the history of the documents that govern this country than a lot of people who live here. Because whenever we try to have these conversations prior, it's like, well, slavery isn't a thing anymore. It's like you would have to literally go back and do your due diligence and look at the history, the foundation of this country, the foundation of the laws of this country, which goes back to the Constitution of the United States, and it goes back to the Bill of Rights. And so when you're looking at those documents and you're looking at what was happening in the world at the time that certain things were put into place, like the 13th Amendment, you know what I mean? Or like, you would have
not the 13!
Research. Okay. You have to really do your due diligence and do your research to understand why this is the issue that it is and why it is relevant to slavery. And why a lot of the plight of black people go back to slavery. And it's like, well, yeah, we're so far removed from it. Yeah, but we're not so far removed from racism, and especially when you look at the fact that the foundation of this country was literally established on racism.
So you're saying, okay, I know that there's foreigners that come into the NBA and are decent, right? And although I can see that people like Yao Ming that challenge Shaq, right? Even though I can see that, right? I don't think that if their country took more interest into basketball and gave them scholarships, it would make it more competitive. I don't think that they would be more of those people. I think it would be the same. You sound like, you realize how asinine that sounds? You're saying, oh, I already know that there's foreigners that are there. I mean, come on, man, but it doesn't make sense. You're saying, hey, look, there's already exceptions to that. Dude, you're already agreeing that there's exceptions, right? And I'm saying, what if you made...
Yeah, those are the exceptional Europeans that come to play NBA. Like, Giannis is exceptional, Luka's exceptional, Jokic is exceptional. These are exceptional athletes. But I don't think those are the best. I don't think overall they have better athletes than what we have here. They don't have the competition set up that we have that's better here. So that's just what it is.
So you don't see
I don't think how you can have... no, because they don't have better competition than here.
But that's what I'm saying.
You would have to showcase to me that they'll build better competition than what we have here.
Sure. No, actually I don't. For this argument, all that I have...
understand that the only reason why we have better competition is because, like, basketball is one of the dominant sports of America.
Yeah, that's what
because we invest in it, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it's not because of the whole incentive of this competition is because basketball is a dominant sport. It's not because these events exist.
There's a
cultural incentive for
like basketball is American.
And I already told Forth, I was like, imagine
it's actually
country, right? And so I'm telling Forth, imagine like all these other countries, right? Like let's say like basketball becomes much more relevant to the point where there's a culture of it, right? And there's also programs for it too. Right? If you already accept that there's exceptions of people coming into the league that are from foreign lands, right? Because they took an interest in basketball despite it wasn't the cultural dominant sport, or they took an interest in basketball even though there wasn't all these programs for them to be as little kids weren't as common. Don't you think that if you made those more available, right? And there were scholarships and it became culturally more significant,
your belief in Christ and your adherence to his law. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what you're saying, D.
Yes, because he don't want to put his any and God got white people that's filled with the Holy Ghost that know. Like y'all don't understand this. These people know God. Not all of them, but the ones that some people that roll with the Father, and that's their Father too.
I'm sorry,
D is dropping bombs in here. D's dropping bombs.
He is dropping bombs.
I'm not saying all.
I'm just trying to figure out how we got here, though. Like, I'm trying to figure out what that has to do with
he
right now,
It's not that they know God. It's not that they know God.
Wait,
It's not
how
that
to get out of
they
work?
know how to attract
How
God.
they get out having to work?
They